The next video on Module 5 deals with document type definition DTD, which is nothing but the rule set defined for an XML. DTD stands for document type definition. This is a set of structural rules called declarations which specify what all elements and attributes can appear in an XML document. It also specifies how and where these elements and attributes may appear. What is the order of the elements and what frequency, whether the tags can be repeated or not, and then regarding the nesting, what element should be nested in inside another element and what is the order of that nesting. DTDs also provide entity definitions. We already have learned entities in earlier portion of this module. In fact, XML documents as such does not need a DTD. XML needs a DTD when it has to be shared with some other application or when a set of rules is to be imposed with that particular XMLs. That is, if we want to impose certain standards. They must have a consistent and uniform structure as well as the same set of elements and attributes. Hope you remember what is the difference between a well-formed XML and a valid XML. An XML is well-formed if it follows all the syntax rules, but it is valid only if it has confirmation with either the DTD or the schema. XML can be tested against the rules described in DTD, and if it is conforming to the rules, such an XML is said to be a valid XML. Valid XML is automatically a well-formed XML. And again, if DTD itself can contain errors, if so, you have to carefully go through the DTD and find the errors in DTD. We have certain websites available for XML validation with DTD, or we can have certain applications like XML Spy tool to validate XMLs with DTD. DTD can be written in two types. Either it can be an internal DTD or it can be an external DTD. An internal DTD, the rules are embedded within the XML document itself. On the other hand, in the external DTD, it's a separate rule file which is having an extension .dtd. It's a separate .dtd file and the rules are specified in that separate file. The advantage of using an external DTD is they can be used with more than one XML document. Also, this imposes a structural uniformity, and also if we make any changes that can be made in the DTD easily. Maintenance is also easy. And another requirement that external DTD is preferred is the format of the DTD is entirely different from that of an XML. So if we include DTD as a part of the internal DTD, that will be a mixing up of two different kind of formats. To avoid these two different notations being combined together, we prefer external DTDs. Now we move on to the syntax of how a DTD can be declared and how it can be linked with the XML file. All the DTD declarations are enclosed in a block of doc type markup declaration. In case of internal DTD, this is how we enclose the rules. Exclamation doc type. Then we have to give the name of the root element of the XML file for which this rule is being applied. So that root tag name is to be mentioned here. Then we have to start a square bracket, and within the square bracket we can write all the rule sets. The DTD declarations can be written here. Finally, we have to close the square bracket and close the angle bracket. This is how an internal DTD is being declared, and this section is added just after the prologue before the XML root tag begins. Now coming to the external DTD, when DTD is in a separate file, the declarations are directly inside that separate file. I already have mentioned it is a .dtd file. And we have to link that .dtd file within our XML file, and this is also done just after the XML prologue or XML declaration. This is how we do it. Again, the doc type declaration is used, doc type markup is used, exclamation doc type. Here also we have to specify the root tag name of our XML. Then after a space you have to write the keyword system. This system indicates nothing but a similar construct like a path. It shows the path where the DTD file is being stored. Then after that leave a space and within quotations give the file name, DTD file name, or if it is in a different folder you have to give the full file path. DTD file path has to be mentioned here. This is how an external DTD is linked to an XML file. I'll show you some examples first itself, then we move on to the detail regarding XML declarations. So this file is an example of internal DTD. So here you can see the first statement is there, which is nothing but our XML prologue. This is a .xml file. This file is a .xml file itself. So you can see our XML part here. And I am writing the rule sets within this XML. So the rule sets will appear just after the prologue and before my root node begins. This is the DTD part. So exclamation doc type. What is this? This is the name of the root tag. So you can see here, this is the name of my root tag. Then square bracket. And within this, all these things written are XML declarations. We will be studying the XML declarations later. But just to understand, I am writing element. On seeing this, you can understand this is pointing to an element. Then what is the name of the element? Note, I am writing the elements one by one and its nested elements. So note, then it is important that you have to leave a space between bracket and this element name. So a space here is must, otherwise it will be an error. So then start a bracket and you have to write all the tag names which are to be included within the not element. So to, from, heading and body are the tags which are contained inside not. So you have to add that one by one. Then you have to take each of these elements. To is another element, from, heading, body. Each of them are standalone elements. So now you have to define all those elements one by one. So this means this particular XML must have a not element as the root, and that root should contain to, from, heading, body tags within that in the given order. The order is important. Then we have to specify each of them one by one. So again element declaration is used. Then to, again space has to be left between the bracket. Then hash PC data. Hash PC data is the data type of any leaf node. Here you can see to, from, heading and body are all leaf nodes. So hash PC data is the data type of that. We will see what is hash PC data. Then from, heading, body. So this means that there is a rule like this. Whatever XML I write here, that should conform to this written rule. Now moving on to an example of external DTD. Here all these rules, as this doc type command is not there. These rules, those rules have to be written separately in a DTD file. So not.dtd is my DTD file. So I am writing all those rules. Element, not, inside note I have to, from, heading, body, contents. Then each one has to be declared separately, and this is saved as .dtd file. Then I have to include that .dtd file into my XML file. So this is my XML file which is following the return rule. So XML prologue is here. Then I have a root node. Then all the nodes which are mentioned in the DTD are there in that same order. So now to link this, you have to use the syntax which I have already mentioned. Exclamation doc type, not, which is a root tag, then system, mentioning the path of the DTD, and my DTD name is not.dtd. This is how this DTD is being linked. Once a linkage is made like this, if this XML is not following the rules which is mentioned in this DTD, then it is an invalid XML. Now we move on to how the declarations are being written. So syntactically, DTD is a sequence of declarations. So angle bracket, exclamation, then a keyword has to be written, then following that rule has to be mentioned, then close the angle bracket. This is the basic syntax. There are 4 different possible keywords: element for declaring tags or elements, atlas for defining attribute names, then entities to define entities, and notations to define data type notations. We will see this one by one. First, declaring elements. So we already have seen element is the keyword used. So this specify the element name and the structure of that element. So we have to write the name of the element along with the specification of its structure. This can be in terms of its tree structure. We have to write the elements, nested elements, in the order in which it has to appear in the XML file. So all the list of the child elements must be mentioned inside any complex element. If it is a leaf node, the data type or the element will be a character pattern, which I have already shown as #PC data. So the names of the child elements are specified inside parentheses. It must appear in the same sequence. So exclamation element, element name, list of child elements. So here is an example. I have a node memo, element memo, which contains from, to, date, reply and body as the 5 tags which is inside this memo, and this must occur in the same order. Now sometimes in our employee XML and all, we have already seen that certain tags are being repeated. Some tags may be omitted. So such kind of specifications can also be made inside the DTD element declarations. For that we use quantifiers. Quantifier is used to specify the number of times that a child element may appear inside its parent. So modifiers are plus, star and question mark. So plus indicates one or more occurrences. That means if an element is specified as plus, it must be there inside the XML, and more than one occurrence are possible. Star means 0 or more occurrences. So this element can be either skipped or it can have n number of occurrences within the XML. And if it is question mark, then 0 or 1 occurrence. It can be omitted, or if it is there in the XML, it can occur only once. It cannot be repeated more than once. So this is an example where I illustrate this quantifiers. Exclamation element, person, person is my tag name. Person tag contains 4 different tags. One is parent, age, spouse and sibling. So each of these is applied with certain modifiers. So parent plus, that means one or more parent elements can appear within the person tag. Parent element can appear once or more than once. Then age. Age does not have modifiers, so a single age element must be there. Then next one is spouse node. Spouse node is having a quantifier question mark. That means it can have 0 or 1 occurrence. So 0 or 1 spouse element. And the last one, sibling, is having a modifier star. That means one may have no siblings, or if one sibling or two sibling or n number of siblings. So star means 0 or more occurrences. So this is how modifiers or quantifiers are applied to child element specifications. Then the leaf nodes of a DTD specify the data type of the node content. That is, what is the content of that particular node. Leaf nodes just contain only the data. So it is generally represented as hash PC data, which stands for passable character data. It is a string. Passable character means a string of any printable characters except our special characters like less than, greater than, ampersand, single quotes and double quotes. These are all special characters. Hope you remember, we can add this only by using entity references. So exclamation element, name of the element, hash PC data. This is the format of writing any of the leaf nodes. Two other content types are also possible. One is empty and other one is any. Empty means the element has no content. Empty elements we have already seen. Then any means it may contain literally any content. That means it can contain a mix-up of any type of elements. This is some other modifications. We can declare either or content if some tag is not necessary, or it can be any of two tags are there, anyone can appear. Then we can specify it using a pipe symbol. So here is an example: element node to from header, and finally within brackets I can specify message or body. This means that the not node may contain either message tag or body tag. Both are meaning the same thing. So when a user tries to create an XML with the root as node following this DTD, he can either use message tag or body tag within his XML. Then mixed content. Mixed content means the element. We already have seen mixed element which contains data as well as subnodes. So mixed content can be mentioned by like this: exclamation element not, then the within bracket, after a space within bracket we can mention hash PC data. That means it can contain a data, or nodes like to, from, header, message. So any of these things may appear, and a modifier star, that means 0 or more occurrence of any of these things. So this note element can contain either just a text element, or it can contain to, node, from, node, header, etc. Now moving on to declaring attributes. Here also the keyword is to be used. So previously the keyword was element itself. So here a slight difference is there. Attribute is not the keyword. It is ATLIST. A-T-T-L-I-S-T. Remember, all these things has to be written in full capital letters. So the attribute has to be declared separately. This is the format. The ATLIST is the keyword. Then after a space you have to write the name of the element to which that attribute is to be added. So element name. After a space give the name of the attribute, and then you have to, after another space you have to give the attribute type, and if you have any default value for the attributes, that has to be given within the square brackets. If more than one attribute is there for a particular elements, they can be combined like this. So ATLIST element name, then first attribute name, its type, default value, second attribute name, its type, default value, etc. So coming to the data type of the attribute, there are 10 different attribute types. One is C data. So distinguish between that hash PC data and C data. Hash PC data is the data type of a leaf element, whereas C data is used to declare attribute data type. It is nothing but a string of characters that does not include our previously mentioned special characters, and it is also parsed. This is parsed by the XML parsers. Another type is entity. Entity is used to refer external entities. You can see some examples here. First one is a node payment, which is having an attribute called type and it is having a value check. So the rule set for such a payment node can be like this: exclamation at list, then name of the node first. Because attribute has no single existence, it is related to an element. So name of the element, then name of the attribute, which is type, then this is a string, so the data type is C data, and you can give a default value like this. If you just give within quotations, if you give a value, it is a default value. Then if you this is another example: at list, element name, attribute name, within bracket using pipe symbol you can write a set of elements, that means or. This means or entity, and again default value can be given. This is an example: at list, payment, type, within bracket you can mention check or cash. So only two possible values of this type is check or cash. If I give something else, credit card or something, that will be invalid. And the default value, if I don't mention any attribute value, this default value will be taken. So in this scenario, if there is a rule like this, if I write payment type is equal to credit card, that will be an invalid XML. Also, if I don't mention type, then also it is okay. It will take automatically this default value as the attribute value. The default option can mention either an actual value. So this is an example of giving an actual value, cash, or the requirement for the value of the attribute. What is the requirement? So it can be a value. The directly we can give the value as you have seen in the example just now, or it can be some rules like hash fixed. Hash fixed means the value which is there is a fixed value. Then hash required. This means that such a value is required. If no default value is given, every instant, if suppose that DTD contain no default value, then when we write the XML, every instant must specify a value, otherwise it will be an error or non-conformity with the DTD, invalid XML. So required means such an attribute value should be present in the XML. And the last one is implied. Implied means no default value is given. If value, or we can skip the value too. The value may or may not be specified in the XML. But in case of required, we have to specify the value, otherwise it will be a non-conformity. Fixed means we cannot give any other value. If I try to mention any other value, then that will be an error. Here is an example of these 4 different usages. At list, car. I have a node named car. Doors. Doors is a subnode of the cars. Doors is an attribute of cars. Then it is a C data content, and this is the default value 4. If I am not giving any value, it will automatically take the value as 4. Then again, and the next example, car engine type. Engine type is another node, that is again C data type, hash required. That means if I skip engine type, that will be an invalid XML. The third example, car. Price is another attribute. Z data is data type implied. Implied means we can either skip it or we can give any user defined value. And the last one is car. Make is another attribute. Z data is its type. Hash fixed, and certainly if it is fixed you have to give a value here. This is the fixed value. If instead of Volvo, if I try to give some BMW value like BMW, then that will be an error in this scenario. So this is a valid example of XML tag which is following all these rules. This is the rule set. This is a tag which follows this rule set. Car is the tag name. Then we have these 3-4 attributes. Doors 2. Already there is a value called 4. But if we give 2, it will be overridden. If we don't give 2, that will be taken automatically as 4. Then engine type. Engine type is required. So we can't skip this engine type. If I skip this, this will be an invalid XML. Equal to 5 cylinder. Here there is no particular value given. So this value will be taken. So these two are not included in this example. That means this price is implied. So it is not must. We can skip the price tag, price attribute. And the last one, make. Even though we give it or not, it has a fixed value called Volvo. It will be automatically taken. The default value given can be changed. You can see this by this example default value. I had 4 here, but it is changed to 2. Then hash required must be given. Hash implied may or may not be given. And hash fixed values must be the same. Even though you give it, here you can add another attribute make. And it is must that you should give the value Volvo. If you give any other value, that will be a mistake, or it may not be. It can be given. If given, it must be the same as in DTD, or it may not be specified in XML. That is the meaning of this. Then DTD can also be used to declare entities. There are 2 different types, general entities and parameter entities. And entities can be referenced anywhere in the XML. The entities are created in DTD. It can be referenced anywhere within the XML. Such entities are known as general entities. All predefined entities are general entities. Entities defined by the user, so they can be referenced only in DTDs, are known as parameter entities. So general entities are defined or used within XML. On the other hand, these parameter entities are certain shorthands or references which are written in the DTD and also used within the DTD. We will see an example. This is the format of declaration. Exclamation entity. So the keyword here is entity. The first one we studied was element for declaring elements. Second keyword was at list for declaring attributes. Now the third one is entity, which is used to declare the entities. So remember, here is an optional percentage. I will show you why this percentage is required. Then we have to give the name of the entity and value of the entity. When this percentage sign is present, then it means this is a parameter entity. That means such entities, if it is a parameter entity, such entity should not be used in XML. It is for use only within the DTD. So percentage symbol can be omitted if the entity is for reference in the XML file. Otherwise, you have to give the percentage symbol. So why this entities? You will see an example. If an XML includes large number of references to some large data, for example, John F. Kennedy, this expanded name is to be written many times within the XML. So we understand that writing this again and again is a waste of time if you write the full name. So instead of that, you can create an entity. So this is how you create exclamation entity. So I'm creating a short form, shorthand like GT or LT or AMP, ampersand, or QUOT, quotation. Likewise, I am giving a user defined entity name, that is JFK, which is a shorthand, and after a space within quotations I have to give the expanded form. So this is here there is no percentage symbol, so this means this entity can be used in my XML file. So how will you refer an entity? Always hope you remember these are the delimiters, ampersand symbol and this semicolon. So this is how you reference it, ampersand, name of the entity and semicolon. So this is the example. Here I have an XML. This is an internal DTD, doc type, author. Author is the root node name. Start with a square bracket. Then I am writing element author. Author is just a leaf element. It contains only some data. So hash PC data. So remember this space here. Don't skip this. This will lead to error otherwise. Then I am defining an entity in the DTD called JFK, which shows the expanded name of John F. Kennedy, and this is how the XML looks like. Author, that is only tag which is there, and it is a tag which contains some data. So I'm referencing this data and JFK semicolon. So when you try to display this XML will shows the full name within this tag. This is how entities are being used. It is declared in DTD and used within the XML file. Such entities are known as general entities. Sometimes if it is longer than a few words, its text is defined outside the DTD. Now it was only just a name, so sometimes the text reference may be longer than a few words, then is defined outside the DTD. So in such case, it is known as an external text entity. For example, a section of a technical article will be written separately, and that can be a separate file. It contains certain longer data. So that is termed as external text entity, and this is how you declare it. Entity, again the keyword is same. Name of the entity, that is also same. But instead of giving directly double quotes and giving the value, we are mentioning the path. So hope you remember, system refers to path in terms of XML. So system and the file path has to be given. So in this scenario, if I try to reference it, the entire file contents will be referenced within the XML file. So this is how you can reference an external file as such. Now the second type of entity, which is the parameter entity. The parameter entities are referenced in the DTD itself. It is to be used for DTD itself. So already we have said it is to be preceded with a percentage symbol. So this is the format: entity, percentage, space, name of the entity, and then within double quotes the value of the entity. Suppose that we know that when an XML contains n number of leaf nodes, those leaf nodes has to be mentioned with hash PC data all throughout the DTD. So you have to repeat hash PCD data n number of times whenever you write any leaf XML, a leaf node of the XML. So this can be made into a shorthand like this: exclamation entity percentage P. So instead of PC data, I am going to use just the letter P. And within quotes, I am using this full term with including brackets. Bracket hash PC data. This entire thing I am going to make a shorthand. Within quotes, you have to give bracket hash PC data. So because this is the entire thing I am going to replace. So this is also part of a DTD. Further lines in the further lines of the DTD, this is the root node, element student. It contains ID, surname, first name, DOB, then subject it can be repeated n number 0 or n number of times. So all these leaf elements, ID, surname, etc. I am just using %p exclamation. So you understood the difference here, referencing within a DTD and referencing in an XML. If the referencing was done in an XML, you should have been using ampersand symbol, then P and then semicolon. But when you reference it within the DTD, instead of the ampersand symbol, you have to use the % symbol itself. So two things to remember. One is that when you write a parameter entities are entities which are referenced within the DTD itself, then you have to precede it with a % symbol. So space is there, always remember, entity space % space the name of the parameter. So using that within a DTD is like this, percentage, here there is no space, %p semicolon. So all these occurrences will be replaced. We know that this will be ID space inside bracket #PC data. So all these occurrences will be resolved like #PC data. So we can use this parameter entities. So remember this. The delimiter here is % symbol instead of ampersand. Now we will see an example. So here I have an XML file not.xml. So this is the rule set for not.xml, that is named as not.ttd. So it contains certain elements. Element I am mentioning not is my root element. Then the root element can contain to, from, heading, body and address as sub elements. And all these sub elements are leaf nodes. So all these are mentioned as #PC data. Address is again a nested element. It contains two values, street and lane. Again, street and lane are defined as #PC data. So this is the rules, and this rule is being applied to this XML. So when I create XML, I have to add the prologue. Then I have to create a linkage to this DTD file. How will you do that? Exclamation doc type, name of the root node, then system path, not.dtd. Now you have to write the XML conforming to the rules. So what is the rule? Not. Then you have to write to, from, heading, body, address. It contains street and a lane. So you have to write it as sub elements. So hope you understood how to write a DTD if you are given an XML, and also how to write an XML if you are given a DTD. Here is another example, employees.dtd. So here element employees, exclamation element employees, employee plus, that means it can contain one or more employee tag. So employees is the root tag. Root tag may contain details about one employee or more than one employee. Then employee tag contain name, flag, species, job. Then employee also contain an attribute. Hope you understood this. The name of the tag, the name of the attribute, then type of attribute is C data and it is implied. You can even skip it. There is no problem if you skip it. Then all these tags, name, #PC data, flag, empty. So this is another usage. Flag is empty. This means this is an empty element. Then species. Again, flag has an attribute. Flag, the not name. Attribute name is gender. So gender can be a choice, male or female. So within bracket I am specifying M or F and the default value. If I am not giving any value, that means that is a male. Then another next one is species. Species again #PC data. Then job, it is again #PC data. So this is not here. This DTD file does not contain any prologue. It is having entirely different format. So this DTD is reference employees.dtd, that is referenced in this employees.xml. So bottom one is XML file, so it has a prologue, then exclamation doc type employees is a root tag name, then the path system employees.dtd. This is the employees.dtd. So in confirmation with that, we have the employees tag. Within employees tag, I have employee tag. Employee contain a rank attribute. It is implied, either we can give it or we can skip it. Then name, flag, as I've shown, it is an empty element. So this shows how an empty element is being ended. It is not a paired tag. Gender is equal to M. Gender can have only M or F values. If I give some other value, that will be an invalid XML. If you don't give any value, it will be automatically taken as M because a default value is given here. Then species job / employee. This is how it is written as an internal DTD, doc type employees, square bracket, then all these same contents are written. Finally, close the square bracket and angle bracket. Just for an example which specifies the writing of this with as internal DTD. That's all. And some more examples. Example with mixed content. Mixed content, hope you remember, it can contain data, it can contain tags or random data. So XML prologue, doc type payment. So this is an internal DTD. Element payment. This payment can contain, so hope you remember, this is how you give mixed data. It can contain data or cash, that means another node, or credit. And this can be repeat 0 or n occurrences, 0 to n occurrences. And then cash and credit are node names. So cash hash PC data and credit hash PC data. So this is a sample XML for that. A payment can contain just data, a combination of this is the data within this payment tag, and it can contain two other sub tags too. So this is an example of using mixed content. These are some other examples. You can go through that. Fraction, that node can contain numerator and denominator. This should occur once. Once it is given without any modifiers, this should be there and the occurrence is 1 and only 1. Then list is another tag which contain list item plus. Plus means at least one. So one or more occurrences. Then table caption, table row plus. Table caption question mark, that means it can be omitted. Here it is plus, so one or more occurrences. Again matrix with matrix row and matrix row plus. So one occurrence of metric row is a must because it is given here without any modifiers. Then matrix row plus. So two occurrences is must, and so this plus means one or more. So one here and one here. So two matrix rows is a must. More than two is also possible. Again next one is parent, first child, then within bracket another child or at another. This means it can contain either another child tag or at another child tag. Plus, that means one or more occurrences and the last child. So parent must contain first child followed by either another child or at another child one or more times. This can be repeated one or more times and end with last child. And the last one, shortlist contain item one time, second time because it is not having any modifiers. Then again question mark. Question mark means 0 or n occurrences. So minimum 2 occurrences is there. So at least 2 and at most 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 0 or 1. Question mark means 0 or 1. So if it is occurring 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So 7 plus 2 maximum 9 times. So again similar examples. This is containing one more thing which is entity. So you can see here are 3 entities defined in this DTD. Other things are similar to what we have already discussed. We can go through this. Then entity. Here is an entity defined. Entity O, S and E. These 3 entities O refers to value O-130, S refers to value S-164, and E refers to value E-1800. So this O forms a shorthand for this particular expanded value. We'll see how it is being used and what is the difference. Now there is no percentage symbol, so this is an entity, general entity, which is to be used in XML file. So this is my XML file. You can see the entity references here. So for make I am just referencing ampersand O semicolon. Here for make I am referencing ampersand S semicolon. So you'll see what the output is. Now in XML I have given like this, but when you try to open this XML within our browser, when you are opening it with browser, you can see it is not the ampersand semicolon thing you see here. It is substituted with the value which was given in the DTD. In DTD we have given the values like this. So all these values are being substituted at the occurrences. Here we have given like this, but the output is like this in the browser. So this is how substitution happens for entities. Here is another example of letter.ttd and the corresponding XML. So that's all about DTD. Now, what all things we have learned is like how you write internal DTD and how you write external DTD. Then what are the 4 different keywords which are used, how each one of them are used, elements, then modifiers for maintaining the number of occurrences of the elements, then attributes, how the attributes are being declared, then how we give a default value or the combination of values for attributes, then finally entities. 2 types of entities, general entities and parameter entities. General entities we use it in XML file. Parameter entities we use it as shorthand within the DTD itself. So that's all about DTD. So DTD is a rule set. Any file that is conforming with the DTD, that is as per the rules. If we are violating any of the rules, that is an invalid XML. If the XML is conforming to the rules, then that is termed as a valid XML.